hell in here. Hold on. I don't know why you in here, but best believe I'm on that. Rocks and shit. Later that day, Stella's watching the recovering Ikki, and she just feels tempted to touch his back. The usual anime BS happens and she ends up on top of this nigga. So she's like, fuck it, might as well get even, and touches his manly abs. For some reason, it basically makes her finish on the spot. Then Ikki wakes up and they...
What's up, everyone? All hope you're having a blessed day. I've got another banging video or a brand new series we're going to react to for the first time. And this is on the anime The Chivalry of a Failed Knight. For those of you who didn't know, this was one of the best school magic animes of the late 2010s, and it really went underrated in my personal opinion. With both magic and sword fights, where can you really go wrong? And I just want to spread a little joy to this series. Let me know what you think at the end of this breakdown, but let's get straight into the video.
Damn, it's not good as hell in here. Hold on. I don't know why you in here, but best believe I'm on that. Now, I know I've given its praises before when it comes to anime, but despite it having a lot of it came with just as much slop. And that's also the reason 8-year-old me's most searched on YouTube was top 10 anime where weak loner boy hides his power but ends up being the strongest. This was dead as a title too. You just had to be there. Matter of fact, I wouldn't change that for the world. Now, as a 10-year-old, there wasn't anything better than this, I ain't gonna lie. But when you develop a frontal cortex, you realize this shit is bounce that ass 90% of the time. However, amongst a pile of dirt, one may find diamonds. That's philosophical narratives right there. And in the case of Chivalry of a Failed Knight, oh, my bad. In the case of Chivalry of a Failed Knight, it was a diamond that was straight dancing. But I'm more of a show don't tell type of guy, so cut the small talk. Let's go. So as we saw at the start, this dumbass called Ikki tried taking off his clothes in front of the Princess of Vermilion. So the school director is trying to mediate, but she just ends up giving up. And now, in typical tsundere fashion, she's about to blow that bitch down. But Ikki's smooth with it, and he says he only looked that long because she was so beautiful. And we know the tsundere cheat code is just basic compliments, so she ends up doing the whole, what are you saying? Aye bro, we've seen it all already. Anyway, nobody was really at fault because these two are actually roommates. So yeah, the rank F bust and rank A princess ended up in the same room. They decided they're going to do a mock battle in order to decide the rules of the room. Turns out they actually just decided who's going to be the other servant for the rest of their lives. And they don't waste any time, they get straight to the squabbling. They both summon their sword, and Stella got that fire aspect too. Each clash is letting off straight steam. But this whole time, Ikki low-key just been running. But it's time for him to flip the script. He took her exact move. And now Ikki's on the offensive. This is one of his techniques, the ability to snatch other niggas' chains right off them. He just takes their sword skills. Ikki is about to land a decisive blow, but this is actually a magic academy. These niggas have powers. Ikki is just a bum who doesn't. And now this regular dude has to defend against whatever the fuck this is. But yeah, this is a magic high school protagonist. He just starts like flash stepping that bitch and dodging all of her attacks. Turns out he has one of what they call a noble art, the ability to squeeze out all of his power for the day into 1 minute. So yeah, he just rocks her shit. Later that day, Stella's watching the recovering Ikki, and she just feels tempted to touch his back. The usual anime BS happens and she ends up on top of this nigga. So she's like, fuck it, might as well get even, and touches his manly abs. For some reason, it basically makes her finish on the spot. Then Ikki wakes up and they finally talk about the terms of their duel. And Ikki said the only thing she has to do is be my roommate.
True to say, anime, love it or hate it, can be really unhinged and unnecessary at times, but it's part of the game. Fan service, hate it or love it, it will always be part of it all.
So Ikki's sister's enrolled the academy and he finally sees her again after 5 years. And naturally, she kisses him first thing. Normally, I condemn this, but I'm honestly not even going to add that this is a foreign concept to me. We have all watched anime before. Hell no. What is wrong with these people? They always just have to sneak this BS in. And she's even over here talking about some, he could have my body too, because our bond is strong. Shut up! You weird. Stella's trying to stop her, and Shizuku just ups her tool and shit. So does Stella. Anyway, they both get punished for that tomfoolery. During their punishment, Shizuku lets slip that Ikki was treated as if he didn't exist, and this leads to Stella asking him herself. He explains how his grandfather is a Kurogane, some legendary samurai, and one day he ran away during a blizzard. Then his grandfather found him and helped him out. Fast forward to recently, and the previous director of the school, together with the heads of the Kurogane household, basically rigged the grading system to make him stay a bum. Damn, this is some top tier hating. Write that down. Yo, write that down. So these two idiots end up on a date with Ikki, and this is Shizuku's roommate Alice, who's a man but is a self-proclaimed maiden at heart, whatever that means. Anyway, sometime during the date, Alice and Ikki in the bathroom, and these two bad guys come in there and start straight lighting that bitch up. This isn't even practical. They're literally mad dumping an entire bathroom because somebody might be in there. Ikki and Alice dodge it due to Alice's ability to warp in dimensions. Now these guys have the entire mall hostage, including Shizuku and Stella.
Very broken. I believe in the manga, in the light novel, he's actually quite devious, but I really want to read the light novel, but I haven't got down to it. But let me know, guys, what you thought about him if you've watched this before.
It's money heist, and one of the women are begging to be released. Did she think the same nigga who sprayed down an entire bathroom for vibes was going to let her out? No. Instead, he just rocks her. Then her kid tries to step in, so he just rocks him too. Now he's actively about to switch the kid down, so Stella has to intervene. And look how she's glowing and they're walking through live ammunition. She's clean. The boss pulls up and tells the henchman to chill.
That was pretty clean, I can't lie.
He tried to throw ice cream at him. It's the mother's. So he real life puts the tool to her head. This nigga is sick. But this was all a trap to bait out Stella. He takes her power and fires it back at her, but he offers her a solution. If she apologizes and strips, then everything will be cool. And because of her strong sense of judgment, she accepts. And peep how Brody is celebrating. celebrating by spraying into the air. I know this isn't the time, but this has to be dead. Ikki can bear to see this though and is about to move, but Alice pins him down with his ability. He tells him to have faith in his sister, who's currently creating some sort of magic circle with her powers. It activates, allowing her to create a water while protecting the hostages. The bad guys are unloading the mag, but that should do no damage. And now Ikki's finally able to move. They avert their focus to him, and this guy's standing still, looking bullets dead in the eyes. And of course, the dumbasses are missing every shot, just adding to bro's aura as he's free falling down. Like, look at this frame and tell me he's not tough. And then he pops ult. He sacrifices his ability to perceive color in order to boost.
One thing about anime or even fiction in general is how people dodge whilst in mid-air, whilst they have no flight ability. It's quite ridiculous. Like, how are they missing? But game's a game, and we'll just toss it to anime logic.
Perception skills, and that hole got him running on walls now. From then I knew it was GG's because he just blitzed his old buddy and cut his arm clean off. The rest of the guys got dropped by a girl in her drawers. There was one more hiding amongst the hostages, but they got dropped by this smoke ass nigga who was hiding the whole time. My bad, my hostility was poking through. Kirihara is outside after they saved everyone, talking about some so Ikki, you bum ass nigga. Are you still a coward and a loser? And he only talking crazy because allegedly Ikki ran away from the ones that
This literally makes no sense. We just saw him do madness and take out the main villain, and somehow he gets the praise. How does that make any sense? But I suppose it's all part of setting him up as like the villain for the next kind of arc, but it still makes no sense how he got the credit for doing the kill to the most weakest of all the soldiers there. But hey.
They boxed, but he just received news that his next opponent is going to be Kirihara again. So the tournament begins, and Stella's first opponent, Deadass, just forfeits off her aura alone. These two won too. We go to a flashback of Ikki versus Kirihara, and it was just Ikki getting banged on because Kirihara was attacking him, but not during a duel. And since Ikki's already a liability in the school, if he fought back, he'd be the one to get expelled. The match is about to start, and Ikki's really overthinking. It's so bad that 30 minutes pass in like 5 seconds. Then the games begin. Kirihara is out there just...
Quite surprising. Where the hell is the disciplinary committee or the student council? These guys normally always step in these kind of situations in other magic school academies, but guess you're nowhere to be seen this time.
They're talking. He even emotes on him and uses his illusion ability. Ikki's getting shot out by the invisible Kirihara, but Ikki can sense him from where the arrows are coming from and starts hawking him down. Kirihara has been in the labs though, because now he can make his arrows invisible. And that shit is just OP because how you meant to dodge something you can't even see. So yeah, Ikki's getting work. Kirihara got the whole crowd chanting, worst one, worst one. This is dark, oh my goodness. And the next arrow goes straight through his guts. The chanting just gets worse, but Stella shuts all that shit up and tells her favorite knight to continue looking cool for her. And you know, Ikki just like me, because there's no way some fine shit is gonna shout out some motivational words in front of all these people and I don't start doing some wild shit. If it's basketball, it's one-legged fadeaways like I'm Jokic. Football, they might see me touch it down like Berbatov. I have a pop on my right foot and I ain't even right foot. Ikki loves it and pops his ulti to Shura. And I ain't even got to say much. You already know it's barbecue chicken. He straight up caught the invisible arrow and now he's talking about some the depth and pain in your voices. Tell me where you are. What are we talking about? Just say you're the MC, gang. And Kirihara is really out here running for his life. Look, he's on all fours, goodness me. And this bitch ass nigga forfeits before we got to slime him. Just make me mad. You really should have got that nigga. They cut to after when Ikki's recovering.
Yeah, I believe he did that purely because like the damage is amplified in that certain fight. But correct me if I'm wrong.
Out there sleeping next to him, and in that moment Ikki straight up confesses, I wasn't ready for this. Normally the MC is meant to behave like a dumbass when faced with basic social cues. Now of course Stella's happy as hell, but she's a cinder and fights back for like 10 seconds before kissing him on the cheek. The next episode these two are doing some training at a pool alongside a whole bunch of people. Truthfully, not much happens. The only reason I'm recounting this is because at the end both of them are arguing that they both wanted to do more things with one another but didn't want to seem too lustful. You see, a total non-issue. Anyway, they both say that they want to kiss each other and then they kiss behind the waterfall. I don't really care. I just put this in here for all you guys who are emotionally invested. But hey, props to you, Ikki. At the end of the day, they figure out their opponent for like the 7th round and it's 2 members.
But anyone who hasn't watched this and loves the little romance in shonen fights, I would definitely recommend this show. It's one of the few shows where the MC is not fumbling around with misconceptions or miscommunication for like the whole series, but these guys actually are on business. And it's actually very, very early in the series. I believe this is around episode 4 or 5. So if you do like action romance, I would definitely say this is a good top 10, top 5.
Stella and Ikki won all their 6 matches before this, and yeah, they just know diff the next 2 all the same. So this girl has been following them for about a week, and her name is Ayase. She's also the daughter of another master swordsman. However, he's since been hospitalized after one of his fights. But they're still not addressing the elephant in the room. Why the hell has she been following them for almost a week?
More importantly, I think it's time you tell us all why you've been stalking my brother.
That's what I'm saying. Turns out all now, she's
asking a real question.
After some trading, Ikki deciphers that the reason Ayase is sorry is because she's replicating her father, but doesn't have the structure for it. He moves her into the correct form, and for this he needs to touch her legs, though I'm not sure why they're that wet. Or what's leaking down there. Anyway, she seems to feel a lot better. They're eating a meal and all of a sudden Billy Badass pulls up next to them. Now the way bro was behaving, I thought he'd just be set up fodder to give Ikki aura. Bakugo pours Ikki a drink to apologize for disturbing their meal, and he just straight up smashed the bottle over his head. Stella's not letting that slide.
So
he stops and says it was an accident. And this is Loki just annoying Kurashiki, so he spits on his face. Now you see this. This will result in all reason leaving my body. One of us will have to stop breathing then and there, I don't care. But Ikki just firms it. It's then that they find out that Ayase is actually Ikki's next opponent. Alice and Ikki are talking about a message that Ayase sent after that, asking him to meet her in the roof tonight, and Alice keeps it being. He knows if Ikki fought Ayase, she'd get smoked off the map, so he figures she's trying to set him up beforehand. But Ikki's got too much faith in the world and pulls up anyway. Hey, but peep what she came dressed up in. She not careful, I'd get down to eating that. So Ayase has the bright idea. Because she can't win fairly, she is just gonna jump off the roof. And because of this, it forces Ikki to use Itoshura. He reaches down and grabs onto her before jumping from the wall to the pool. The issue is, Ikki can only use Itoshura once a day. She's low-key smart as hell for that. He wakes up and arrives at the fight despite not being able to use it, and the match begins. But as soon as he charges the attack, he's cut down when Ayase taps her blade. She has the ability to cut air and open whirlwinds in her place when she taps her sword. And before the fight even starts, she was out there setting up a hella traps. Now this is blatant cheating, but Ikki stays solid. He's weaving to the best of his ability, but he still gets caught. They're clashing and Ayase blocks his attack. Now it's her turn for this counter. She even gonna say, "I'm sorry," before she lands. There's a bunch of mist blocking our view, then it's going to dissipate, and oh my god. Look, he blocked the attack with the very tip of his guard. Are we serious? And look at his face. This is probably the very first time he's doing some shit like this.
I ain't gonna lie.
Like,
Already there.
now we get a quick flashback, and it's Ikki telling the teacher to overlook all the cheating, just so he can maintain his friendship and see her true intentions. Back to present time, and he's keeping up and dodging everything, even without his power. I don't even know why. I say attacks, but that was just an after image, and the real one slumps her. He ain't even hit her for real, but she can't fight anymore and forfeits. Yada yada yada, talk no jutsu, now her problems are his. And because of this, Ikki is now going to take back Ayase's dojo, which is run by the Shark Teeth dude. Then we get a flashback to him attacking the Ayatsuji dojo. You see, Ayase's grandfather is a legend, but at this point he already had some sort of heart deficiency, so he low-key gets stomped in front of the whole dojo. And just like that, Kuroshiki's running the block. Back in the present day, Ikki pulls up on Kuroshiki and demands they start the boxing. Gang, I literally spat in your face the last time. You don't have the right to box me. Man, shut your dumb ass up. I took the chain off every last one of your homeboys. And that was enough. Kuroshiki unleashes a sword called Orochimaru, but shit, that's clearly Zabimaru. How he got a whole Zanpakuto in here? He really got universes colliding like Mario. And there's no reason for the animation to go this hard too. He draws the sword and they begin clashing. He has an opening, but Kuroshiki shuts it down. Kuroshiki extends the sword and bends it around Ikki, but you know our boy got that perfect vision, so he weaves it. But Kuroshiki weaves the counter too, and now he counters Ikki, but Ikki weaves that too. Long story short, they're moving out there. The reason Kuroshiki's weaving and countering so well is because his reaction speed is like 10 times better than the normal humans. They resume and Ikki's low-key getting worked, I'm not gonna lie. Ayase wants to step in, but Stella stops her. Because this nigga is smiling. There's no reasoning anymore, just let him cook. They start to realize Ayase's dad must have actually been happy as hell when getting whooped, because at the very least he could go out with a bang. That's my type of death, he's a real nigga. Kuroshiki's running out of stamina, so Ikki lines up their final clash, and he snatches the old man's old technique. The result is Kuroshiki's lost, and he just walks up out of there. He's low-key cold for that. The next round of the tournament begins, and Shizuku's match against someone in the student council, who's one of the strongest in the entire school. After a pretty cool battle, she ends up losing. But it's here we enter the climax of the story. So Stella and Ikki end up getting caught kissing, and the press make a big deal out of it. And because Stella's a princess, they just straight up send Ikki to a court hearing. Damn, who knew loving bad biddies was this taxing? They have Ikki in a concrete box, and this trial is spanning over several days, with Ikki barely being able to rest in between hearings. They even go as far as having his selection battles inside the holding cell. In the academy, when the disheartened Stella suggests breaking up with Ikki if it'll help his situation, Shizuku sprays her with water. She's genuinely mad. This ends up giving Stella spirit, and she cuts off some of her hair to deliver to the very weak Ikki, and this gives him strength to once again fight. Then he demands to see his father. During their talk, Ikki's father gives him some words of affirmation, but I ain't gonna lie, this shit is really sad. His father says he's always acknowledged Ikki, but teaching techniques to someone who's talentless is useless. And that the worst thing is that if someone who's not meant to be doing well starts doing well, then all the other bums start to get hope, and that's just a hassle to deal with. Why are anime dads like this? This shit is just cruel. There's the parting words where someone like you who can't do anything shouldn't do anything, and this crushes Ikki's spirit. But he fights on, slumping every bum in his path for his 19th straight win, and he finds out his next opponent is the same woman who slumped Shizuku. I haven't even made mention of the dates, but they had this nigga in there for like 3 weeks. This has got to be violating like every human right. The day of his match arrives and everyone is in attendance to watch, even his ops. But the time for the match to start had already begun and he still hadn't shown up. He has 15 minutes left or it's all over for him. He's barely keeping himself upright running to the school by himself. Nigga's so much in his feels that he's having internal conflict. He reaches out after the last minute motivation and breathes color back into his life. Like no, this is dead. That's the first time he's been colored in like 2 episodes. He falls straight into Shizuku's arms and the whole squad is cheering him on. Stella flexes her qualification medal and tells him he better keep his promise, and now we get to the boxing. They both pull out their swords, but this match is different from the others. Ikki only had strength for one attack, and like a real dog, Kudo matches that. Both their strongest attacks in one move. She didn't want to go out like a bum. She wanted to fight him on equal footing. And peep Ikki, he got blood coming out of his eyes. The next frame we have is a Kudo sword breaking and her on the ground. Ikki won. They are and now this old fart is trying to mess up Ikki's brand, but Stella is not tolerating any of that and swings his ass like a fly. And yeah, with that, they're reunited. Then Ikki just straight up asks her to marry him on live TV. Damn, this is a real ass nigga. So yeah, Ikki, Stella, Alice, and this mysterious woman qualify for the 7-star tournament. Hey, we ain't ever gonna season 2 of this though. It's been like 9 years. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. It's been Narratives. Peace.
Very true. And I'm curious, from what I've gathered, the light novel is basically done now, and it is fire. So I'm really tempted to watch it, to read it, but that was a video. If you've never watched Chivalry of the Failed Dad, I definitely recommend it. Whether you like sword fights, whether you like magic, whether you like school anime, where you have romance anime, where you have action, it's got it all. So definitely one of my strong recommendations for this kind of genre. But let me know what you think of this video down below. And you got any other specific series or any specific videos that you want me to react upon? Let me know also in the comments below. I'm more interested in seeing and reviewing things what I haven't watched as well as those I have watched. But this has been me from this episode of this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, ciao.